This is a great one. Why 2-3 hours of focus will never change your life. Rule number one: to work deeply. The B-model philosophy is scheduling strategy designed to help individuals integrate deep work into a real life. So if you don't know the monastic philosophy, you have to check the video. I'll link it in the end. So rule number one is to work deeply is Pimodan philosophy. First of all, we need to understand that willpower is finite resource. It depletes fast when you constantly resist distractions. That's why just having these good intentions will fail. But why deep work requires rituals and strategies? This is the reason why it requires it. Because willpower is finite and it depletes time after time. And there is some kind of like strategies to increase your deep willpower, and you can check it, you can Google it, you can search on YouTube or find some book about it. Okay, or ask someone else. So it's not about the motivation, because motivation is hardly dependent on the willpower. So we are talking about the real strategies, the core mechanism. The B-model philosophy is a scheduling strategy designed for people who cannot live like monks but still want extraordinary results. It requires you to divide your life into two clearly defined models. Deep deep mode. You work monastically, no distractions, no communication, only one task, full immersion, and you need at least a day, okay? And second is open mode. Shallow work, social life, communication, administration, learning, connecting. Depth is not diluted by openness, and openness does not sabotage death. Why? Okay, if you understand this, I'll explain very simply. There's two kind of ways in life to operate it. First is deep mode, to integrate it, and second is shallow work, open mode. Okay, we call it deep mode and shallow work, or deep mode on or open mode. Okay, these two, just have in mind. There's the conclusion of this. Why a few hours is not enough? So common mistake is believing that if you work 2-3 hours a day, you'll get a breakthrough results. You won't. Okay, you'll get good results, maybe even impressive results, but not great. True, breakthroughs require extended cognitive intensity, and that only happens when the mind stays submerged long enough. Long enough. Think of deep work like a deep sea diving. You don't dip your toes in immediately, or you go to a 100-meter dive immediately. You start small. You start 1 meter, 3 meter, 5 meter. Excuse me, 5 meter, the 5 meter. That was a funny. Excuse me. Yeah. So you go 5 meters, then 15, then 30, then 40. You improve your equipment as well. Then you go 70, then you go 100, and you feel this kind of like confidence is growing step by step. So think deep work like that. It's like deep sea diving. You don't descend slowly, upgrade your equipment, and stay at depth. When you get there, so this is a point. This is an important point here. When you dive deep on the 100 meter, for example, you don't just like tap the ground and get immediately up. You stay there. You explore. You discover some things. That's why you are diving there. Maybe you'll even search a couple of hours and find only one thing. But it's the main point is that to stay there as long as possible, as long as you don't feel a big pressure on you, and as long as it's safe and healthy. That's how deep work works. You start the session, you make it a day for the deep work, only one task, and you are oriented only on that. So, minimum unit of depth, important. For beginners, the minimum unit of true deep work is usually one full day. You can start with a few hours, but the focus muscle must be trained. Over time, for example, every 1 month, you increase the time period. You start from a 4 hour straight, and then you increase the time period in next month to full day. You know, and what does full day means? I explained it in a deeper one, in the below sections. Okay, stay in touch. So then two, then three, then more. Depth is built, not forced. Okay, you'll feel it. Okay, just there. It does not need very difficulties, or it does not need to be difficult to understand and make more like yeah, difficult to be. Okay, it doesn't need to be like that. It's just the point that it's a muscle and you have to train it, and it takes a lot of effort. You must dare it to be difficult, and it will be difficult, and you must be take it. You must take it, this action. It will. It's like a biggest tree you can ever plant on in your garden. Okay, so plant this tree and nurture it. So scales of implementation, how it works. Bimodality can operate on different time scales. Weekly scale, 4 days of full day deep work, then 3 days of openness. or yearly semester scale. A full deep work semester, ideal for university students, followed by a season of openness, connecting, research, travel, rest, living, just enjoying the life, okay? So case studies. Even Carl Jung has done it, the bimodality. He was hyper-connected professional life. He had professional life in Zurich and deep retreats, excuse me, and deep retreats at his stone tower in Bolligen. No interruptions, locked doors, writing every morning and whole day, just only writing. That's bimodality in its purest form. Also, Adam Grant. Adam Grant starts teaching into one semester. Then during research periods, he blocks 2 full days, uses email autoresponders, becomes temporarily unreachable, and people respect it because it's clear and predefined. So every semester when he's doing a research, he blocks 2 or 4 days, full days. For example, 1 or 2 a month. Every month, he blocks 2 or 4 days in a week, full day, and does the research whole day, every hour, with resting, of course. The biggest obstacle for this is the fear of being unreachable. It's not the laziness, it's fear of being unreachable. But here's the truth. People respect your inaccessibility when it's intentional, clearly communicated, and time bound. So you got this. Just organize it, plan it, start small, start fundamentally small, organize it, and the people will respect you even more than before because you value your time and work and achievements and influence you are going to do to the world and people around you. So rest is not optional. This is a very important point. Rest is not optional. Deep work is a pressure, and we know that it takes a lot of effort. It's very hard. It's hard to obtain this skill. It's hard to maintain the process, and yeah, it's a stress. Okay, it's a pressure, but it's a healthy pressure. It's a healthy stress. So keep in mind that rest is not optional. Rest must scale with depth. Every 2 straight days. This is for me. Okay. Every 2 straight days of deep work I rest 5 days of openness for openness, connection, refinement, learning the things which I learned throughout this refinement and connecting with my friends, getting out, watching some movies, and doing like chilling out, enjoying the life kind of way. And for every straight day of deep work, I rehearse everything. I rehearse everything, university studies, writing, what I read, what I can synthesize, how can I read the difficult books, and start reading difficult books. I work on self-transformation and building something meaningful. So this applies. This applies. Even I say that honestly that these deep work sessions is very hard for me, and yeah, I know why it's important. I know why it's meaningful. You know, the only reason to be great is enough. Deep work is necessary, and rest is not optional, it's a must. So, final formula: work harsh, talk smart, rest hard, eat healthy, sleep deeply, and repeat. And adjust this cycle every 3 days, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. Design your life intentionally. I'll link this Notion template in the YouTube description. Bye now. Bye bye.